Hi everyone, welcome to Rick's 1/35 scale models. My name is Rick. Today I want to talk about a new model out that I was able to get my hands on, and that's the Border Leopard 2A7V. Now, Border's done a prior Leopard in a 2A6 and or the 2A5, depending on which version you'd want to get, and that was one of their first 1/35 scale models, but this is their first new modern Leopard they came out with, and this is the right now the newest variant of the Leopard in service. They did a lot of research. It looks like they really spent a lot of time making sure that it was an accurate portrayal of the vehicle, and I think they did a really good job on the overall model itself as far as the quality of the kit. I'm going to go into that when we go through all the parts, and I will go through some of the issues I do have with it. I will say right up front, I think it's an amazing model. I love it. I haven't built it. I'm going to start here shortly, pretty much after I get done uploading this video, but I do want to be really honest about things that I would like to see them do. Now, I am excited because you've got Border has this new Leopard out. You have Ryefield coming out with the what was probably the second generation Leopard 2A7, and that has the newer Spectus observation system for the driver and some other modifications. It's will probably be a pretty decent upgrade from the older Ming 2A7 kit. You also have Amusing Hobby, who's really pushed the envelope on prototype vehicles when they came out with the KF51 Panther. They just did the Abrams X, which I just finished building here, and now they have the Leopard 2A8, which it looked like a 2A7 with the trophy system, but after doing a bunch of research, it's the 2A8. There are significant modifications to the lower hull. It's not just a standard 2A7 hull. But that kit's coming out here real soon also, and that looks to be a really nice kit. Now, I don't know what it's going to look like, but I'm excited about it. But this is about the Border model. I based all my information and research on it on just looking online, but also looking at Tankograd's book on this model, or on the tank actually, which is an outstanding publication, lots of great information. And I did basically going through the entire model, the entire instructions, line by line, part by part, looking at the good things, the things that I would have done differently. 99% of them you can easily modify yourself. A few things will take a little bit more creativeness, but it's nothing that the home modeler can't do. Now, if you just build the model right out of the box, you're going to get a great model. I built the 2A6 Border Leopard. I built several of them actually, and it's a great build. It goes together awesome. I had zero issues with it whatsoever. But let's dive into the instructions and then look at the parts. So looking at the instructions, you have the box art on the front of that. I do find the box art interesting. You've got a Russian Series T tank here, and the Leopards behind it. They're both in the same direction. Then you've got a drone up there. Sometime spring or summer here. It doesn't really give you any definitions, but it's an interesting picture. Going through the instructions, the Leopard here, you can see a lot of the stuff's covered up, but you have your sprue sheet layout. One of the things that's missing on this sheet is on the other Border kits, right here they will have a number of the little rubber parts that go in between the road wheels. There's nothing there. This here has a Chinese writing, but it doesn't have a part number listed, and most importantly, my kit didn't have that part in it. Now, I did contact the distributor. They said it was missing, and they're sending me a new one, so you know that's good and well. Just when you get this kit, make sure that you have that. That's something to look at. Here they go through the instructions process on the assembly of the lower hull. What I like that Border does is they have this support piece in the middle that makes this all nice and rigid and really good go together. Continue on with the lower hull, you've got all the different components, pretty nice details, real good assembly process and instructions on how to go about it. One of the things I indicated here is there's a part that is real thin on a real vehicle, and this one's kind of a thick piece of plastic. That would be something I would either work on or change out with I would probably 3D resin design something a little more thin and accurate looking, but other than that it all looks really sharp. You continue on, they have your standard link tracks, they go together really nice. I haven't had any problems with that. One of the things that you'll see here is you're adding the tow cable connection points, but there's no tow cable here in the instructions. Later on you'll notice it doesn't even talk about installing the tow cable, so they don't talk about it, they don't tell you how long, nor do they give you any indications other than the pictures you see at the end, so it's something that is kind of missing. Another thing that's missing on the kit, which is on the actual Leopard 2A7V, is there's a 2 pins that stick up here on the front fender area, right in this area for the armor. I believe those are for the supplemental armor this is designed to have the attachment points for, but it doesn't clearly say. Either way, the part's not there. That's something you could pretty easily scratch out. If you look at any of the real pictures, you'll see it pretty plain and day, 2 pins sticking up with a hole in the middle, but that's not there. Another thing that it doesn't have is on the rear new Spectus camera system, on the rear one only, on the real vehicle, there's a panel that slides that says Spectus on it in really bold writing. It's a really neat look. They don't have it there, so that would be something I would look at, like doing a resin design part to change that out to make it look a little more realistic and sharp. The other issue that I don't like about the kit is that the rear panel over the drive sprocket, a lot of times different countries will flip that up so it doesn't get fouled. They did add louvers on the 2A7V, but I still seen pictures of it flipped up, and it's a real thick piece and it's part of this solid part, so it's really not possible to flip it up. If you wanted to, you'd have to either cut it off, sand it down really good, or just completely replace it with a different part. Here I was noting the tow cable is not even addressed. The fiberglass vent system here for the Canon is, like I said, it's fiberglass. Well, on this here it's smooth plastic, but on the real one you can see real distinctive fiberglass patterns on it, and that doesn't have that here, and that's something that it's another part. They didn't have it on the 2A 5 or 6 Leopards. Most model companies don't. I've seen one that actually does it. It's a sharp look when it's done. It's missing, so that's kind of a drop point on their part. On the turret assembly, everything goes together great. One of the things I noticed here is on all the newer German vehicles, they have added these 2 vinyl bags here, one in between the commander and the loader, and one directly in front of the loader, and those are for their personal machine guns, those types of weapons. They don't even have the packaging there. Now it's another thing you could easily scratch out, but the kit's got so many details it would have been nice if they would have done that. On the baskets that hang over the German insignia on both sides, there's also 2 little notches right next to the tank where the clip hangs over for the strap that goes over the front of it. And you can see here the strap on the picture and where it would have connected the notches, but the notches aren't here. That would be something pretty easy to fix with just an X-Acto knife or something, you know, score it to make it look like it, but it's not there. Now, like most models, they don't have the chains or anything for the smoke launchers. That's something that you can add on your own, but it's not there. Also, on the real vehicle, right here, and directly under this area here, under the MG, there's a little pin that sticks up. It's not on the model, and that's another, like I said, easy to scratch, but it would be nice if they would have added that little detail for it. Now, one of my big issues I have with this kit, they have this really nice PE for these baskets here on the side, but it's all has holes in it like the real one does through the whole thing, but where the insignia sits, there's also holes, and what they give you is a decal with the background. So you're going to run into an issue when you build the kit, and that when you put the decal on, it'll probably pick up the pattern underneath, and then you'll have a corrugated look underneath, and that's not accurate. It's a very smooth, solid panel it sticks to. It's not corrugated like that. So you may want to add something underneath there to support it, or be real careful when you add your decals, or you're going to end up with an issue. Continuing on, all the different components, they have some really neat details that are actually on the real vehicle, such as the steps here on the tie points for these handles. Going through all the rear modifications they've done. Now, the snow grouts and ice grouts on the back of the tank are in one big panel, so you can't remove them, you can't have any missing. That would have been a neat feature, but it's just a solid, so it's like right out of the box. You can see here, if you wanted to have them on the actual tank, you can't do that. Going through toward the end here, all the final steps. These baskets all look really sharp, and the PE's really nice thin stuff, so it'll go on nice. It has really nice antennas, but I'll show you when I show the spruce sheets. There's some big notches here that I thought initially were going to be these points that they have this attached, but they're in different places, so that I'm not sure what happened there, but it's just kind of a casting design error on their part. Other than that, you have the final steps here, adding this PE sheet, which is the stowage rack behind the commander, and then this cover that goes over the sight that sometimes they have and sometimes they don't on the actual tank. One of the big other mishaps on this model is that you have, if you want these markers here, the red and white striped ones for when they're out on the main road and that, they sit those on a panel. Well, the panel isn't in the model. There's nothing for it. It doesn't exist. There's no PE sheet for it. There's no styrene, so that's missing. And they just have the decals, which you can't just have the decal hanging there. It'll fail on you below that. But other than that, everything else is there, and it looks pretty decent. On the back of this, they have the camo scheme, and in looking at the real vehicle versus this looks correct. They have their brand Ammo by MIG paint, whatever paint you use, but this is the correct camo scheme for the Leopard 2A7V. Now going through the PE sheets, one of the things that scared me initially until I looked closer is they have, like here's spruce sheet D and E, and they're attached. So when you're going through and looking, it'll kind of scare you, so either you just pay attention to that. This sheet's really good high quality casting. The mold work is amazing. The clarity you can see here on the antennas, the notches I was talking about, there's one here and then one down here. I don't know if that's going to clean up. The antennas look really sharp. They're pretty thin. Normally I would put wire in there, but these look pretty nice. But you're definitely going to have some work cleaning up. And then they put these connection points, which is in a horrible spot, so it's going to make a big challenge to remove it without breaking it. But nice looking decals. Your drive sprockets here, and then all these different little detail parts that are within the kit. This is spruce sheet U. This is the same as the Leopard 2A56 model. Not all these parts are going to be utilized in this kit, but here's all these parts. You have the plastic barrel here. You can also use the metal barrel, which I'll show you shortly. This is spruce sheet A. This is new. You can see you have your air conditioning, ventilation system here, which is different. They've done this properly where they have this separated here. It's not connected like some models do. The detail parts here are really nice. What I like about Border is you can have these side up forward armor plates either opened or closed. So if you want to make it in a traveling way, it would be open. You cannot flip these guards up here, which you can do on the real vehicle, but these parts here you can flip them down like they often do when they're putting them on rail system. You can also see here these front rails with the little footsteps. They even have all the notching in there. Really, really delicate, awesome casting there in design. This is spruce sheet T. Once again, this is identical. This is the same spruce sheet from the 2A56. So you'll see some duplicated parts in here, such as these. They're obviously the other version, but once again, it's also a really nice casting and design. You won't be using these side skirts. Here you'll use the other version. Here's one of 4 of the track link sections. Really good quality, easy to get off the spruce sheet. Really well done. There's 4 of these, and they have the little tool to build them, but really nice design there. And this is one of 2 spruce sheets that have a lot of the smoke launchers, the older headlights, a lot of the parts here. Most of these parts you're going to use only on the 2A56. A couple of them you'll use on the newer model, so you'll have some extra parts for whatever projects you have. This is going to be one of 5 spruce sheets, which has your torsion bar axle setup, your shock absorber spring system, some more smoke launchers, and then your road wheels. Now I do like Border's road wheels. They're really nice quality. The only thing they're missing would be the stamped in or actually elevated metal numbers they have on the inside of the rim. Some other model companies will do that, and some of the resin ones, but they're not on this. So unfortunately that's missing there. Now this is going to be spruce sheet B and C. Once again, they've had 2 spruce sheets connected to each other, so that kind of throws you. Here's that part I was talking about that's a little on the thick side. That's part of the track maintenance system. You have all the details here on the back. What I would do if I built this kit, or when I built it, is I would cut this handle off here and do a 3D resin one to give it depth. It's just a solid bar. It's not real good. The weld quality here is amazing. You can really see that in. They also have the proper tail lights. A lot of these models don't do the proper new tail light system they have. This has that with the standard headlight, the some of the convoy lighting, and then the IR lighting they have in the back of these things. You have the different side skirts. They're accurate. I like the scale of the footsteps here. This is all really nice quality. They are a little on the thicker side, but they bevel the inside so you can't see that. All of these basket boxes on the roof are really, really nice quality, highly detailed. They're to scale. Once again, they really did a nice job. The rear mud flaps are nice. They're pretty thin. They do bevel them to get a little thicker, but that's something you can easily sand down and make a little more accurate in scale. So looking at the lower hull, now there's a lot of detail here that they've cast in, but it still looks real sharp. One of the things I mentioned is you have the screens for this air cooler on the side. They have that in there, so it's not really obvious, but you can see it. They have the armor plating for underneath here, the added supplemental armor. They have the armor plating on the front with really nice non-skid. It's not overly sized. They also did a really good job of adding some excessive skidding here, which it actually has. It's really aggressive pattern. And then a lot of the areas that don't have it, it's smooth like it should be on the real model. They have some of the different access hatches here are panels, so you could actually have them open or closed or make them look a little more realistic and add depth. But these access points are not. The issue I have here is that they just have these little small bars sticking up, where in reality that's a handle you can, you know, slide your finger underneath. So I would take that, cut that off, and then use wire or a resin and do that. My intentions are to create a 3D resin of those things so I can use them in all future builds, because they're pretty standard on all Leopards, these different points. They did do a really good job here, and they added the extra armor underneath the sides here. Now some of these models don't do that, and because it's hard to see. Well, they actually took the time to redesign this and add that, so that's a really nice feature there. They've got really good looking ventilation here for these different components, the air conditioner, cooling systems, and then part of the overall fuel, different ports in that. Looking at the PE sheet, they do a real good job. It's thin, it's pliable, so you definitely have some room for working your way through the challenges. They have your side skirts, some of the different ones that go on the baskets, this big plate, and it's got a lot of built-in detail, which is really nice because this is what it really has on it, all the different connection points for tie downs and that. What they did do here is they have these bars going across here. Well, those are actually straps, and it's elevated, so they added that if you wanted to, or you can put something on there and then put your own straps, but they have that detail built in the model, so that's a really nice feature. All these different parts here all look really sharp and good quality work there. Here you have your clear plastic parts. All the periscopes and sights are all clear plastic, which is a nice feature. Nothing really over the top, pretty straightforward, but it is good casting. They're smooth where they're not warped. Sometimes the thicker parts are distorted on some models, and it's obvious in these things. Well, these are really good castings, so nice job on that. So here you're going to have your metal barrel. It even has the little holes here, which is a really nice feature. It's a really nice casting. And then you have your tow cable here. On the prior kits it was made out of brass. This is made out of steel, and so it's really pliable, but it keeps its shape. It doesn't bend real easy. It's got some spring back to it, which is nice. So when you're laying it out on the model, it'll actually keep a decent shape and look more realistic. Plus, if you add this after you do it and you just add some dull or weathering to it, it'll look more realistic, because this is the kind of the color it is in real life. Lastly, looking at the decals. Now, you have your standard unit German Army military markings here. You have one set of license plates. You have some unit markings here, the weight classification here, and then you have these decals, which are pre-set up to go on the baskets with the green behind them and everything else. That would be the only thing that I really didn't like. And then you have your warning placards here, and then this unit insignia that they have behind the right rear basket. Once again, that's another item. When you put it on, you're going to get distortion from the holes in the basket if you're not careful. But the decals themselves are well cast. They're good quality detail, the printing wise I mean, and not a lot of the other decals, such as all the different labeling they have on the deck of the lower hull, but this is nice. So that's the kit. I think it's an awesome kit. I'm really excited about it. I'm really happy they did it. I had wanted to take a Leopard and make this version of the Leopard. I was planning on doing it, designing all the resin parts and printing it myself. And I heard a rumor through some of my German friends that this kit somebody was making it, and obviously it came out. So that's really, really exciting. So once again, please like, subscribe my videos, watch. I have a lot more things coming out, a lot of things in the works. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to ask. I'll get a hold of you as fast as I can. I can get you on Facebook. I can get you on the text within the video itself. However you want to get a hold of me. I like the interaction. I like talking to people. If I did something great, I appreciate your likes and telling me so. But more importantly, if I'm getting something wrong or if I didn't do something right, please let me know. That just helps me be more accurate and a better YouTuber and a better modeler. And that's part of the reason I do this, is to just get better at what I enjoy doing, and that's building these models. I don't get into the politics, I don't get into all the drama and all this different things. That's not what I'm about. I love building models, I love the vehicles themselves, and putting them together and the whole process, and that's what this is. So anyway, please like, subscribe, get a hold of me if you need to. Take care everyone, happy holidays, and see you on the next one. Bye-bye.